we'll be covering Semrush. SEM stands for Search Engine Marketing. This tool is my absolute favorite for honing in on what exactly your competitors are doing with both paid and organic search. So let's go ahead, semrush.com. Okay, from this section, you can put in any competitor or any website that you want to look into right here at the top. I'm going to put in HubSpot.com. They're a huge marketing company. They have a ton of paid and free marketing that they're doing on search. So let's walk through this treasure trove of information. Okay, right here on this first section, we see that there are about 2 million different visitors coming to HubSpot every single month. That is across about 842,000 different keywords that they're ranking for on search engines for free. Of course, not all search terms are created equal. The more buyer intent you have, the more higher value products someone might be searching for, all relate to how valuable these keywords are and the traffic you get from them. So right below keywords, we see the traffic cost, which means for SEMrush, how much it would take to buy that same traffic coming from the same keywords if you paid for Google Ads. We see that that comes to $8 million every single month that HubSpot is getting for free. To the right, we see their paid search. They have 7.9 thousand people coming from paid traffic across 473 keywords with an estimated traffic cost of about $67,000 per month. So this is really interesting. This tells us that HubSpot does like to wade into paid search, but not nearly to the extent they're trying to target free Google traffic. You can click on any of these things, which we'll get to in a bit if you want to drill down, but I also want to take you through the other huge amounts of data that SEMrush is showing us. They have a great backlink catalog. They even have Google Display Ads. Google Display Ads are a little different from the paid search ads you see. Sometimes a website owner will want to monetize his or her site, and they'll put banner ads that come from Google that we can see HubSpot is taking advantage of. So they have 190 total detected display ads. If you scroll down, you can see this really cool graph that charts the rise, or as the case may be, the fall, or even the stability of their marketing efforts. We barely see the paid showing up because the organic, which is the free search engine traffic, is just so much more. But to the left, we can see a circular graph and chart of, okay, where is this traffic coming from? We see both in paid and organic. It's mostly coming from the US, but then it starts to diverge. They're paying for a lot of traffic in India. That's their second most commonly targeted paid section. Scrolling down further, we can see the top organic, which again is free keywords that they rank for. We see the volume, the position, how much it would cost to buy that, etc. HubSpot being number one isn't that much of a surprise, but ranking detected in the first place for advertisement, that's huge. Motivational quotes, it gets a ton of traffic, but not nearly the same cost per click. If we scroll down, we can see competitors that we might not even know existed in our niche. This is going to look at how many keywords in common the biggest competitors have with HubSpot. So right away, you see popular startups that are working in this marketing space. Buffer, they do a ton of great content. They're ranking for a ton of stuff. Social Media Examiner, Kissmetrics, all these people are doing very similar stuff with HubSpot, and as a consequence, they have a lot of keywords in common. If you click on them, you can be taken to a similar page to drill down onto their keywords, their paid search, their organic search, etc. Scrolling down further, it's going to tell you how much of this traffic is branded and how much is non-branded. And what that means is it's not so interesting to some people if your competitor ranks for their own branded term, in this case, HubSpot and similar. But what this is telling us is the vast majority of traffic that they get, over 91%, is from non-branded searches. So whereas a branded search might be HubSpot or HubSpot CRM, a non-branded search term might be free CRM or CRM software. This helps you drill down because you're probably never going to want to try to rank for HubSpot unless you're doing one of those articles like, how do we compare to HubSpot? But for the most part, you're probably going to want to be competing on the actual non-branded terms such as free CRM and the like. Scrolling down, we keep going on with this bird's eye view. We have their top paid keywords, the biggest competitors that they have in paid. So we see, okay, Zoho is really going at it. They have a lot of keywords in common. Scrolling down further for this bird's eye view, we have a sample of the ads they're running, the backlinks, the anchor text that is the most common. What an anchor text is that blue link. The text in that blue link is different from the URL a lot of the time. This shows us how HubSpot is being cited. Then their biggest referring domains. We've got publishers, more text ads. Okay, now let's really get into the nitty-gritty. So we're going to scroll back up. We're going to click on this first organic search, 2 million different people every month, and we're going to drill down. Here we have an expanded graph showing the rise of HubSpot in organic rankings. We can see that not too long ago, they weren't doing nearly as well as they're doing now. This gives you a lot of hope. In a short amount of time, you can see a lot of success in this niche. Let's look at January 15. They were getting about 250,000 in terms of traffic. But today, almost 2 million, right? So they have they've gone up by, say, 8.5 times the amount of traffic they're getting in just a few short years. If you scroll down, you really get a good view as to where this traffic is coming from. You can sort it by the volume, the difficulty it would take to rank, the cost, etc. My two favorite things to sort by is the default traffic percentage, which tells you how much of the traffic out of all of your target domain, in this case HubSpot, is coming from a particular term. My favorite thing to sort by is actually the cost percentage, so I'm going to click that. What this tells us is if you were paying for this traffic, if you bought ads on these keywords, and got these people to come through the paid ads section of Google, how much would that cost? And when you combine that with how much traffic you're getting, how valuable is this particular traffic in terms of both cost and volume to this target domain's business? So sorting by that, we see the biggest thing is HubSpot. And a ton of people, 135,000 people a month are searching for HubSpot. And as people compete to also pay for ads on the HubSpot term, you'll see that that's actually quite valuable. It's $5.59 to buy an ad on Google for this term. So a ton of traffic, a decent cost per click, that's why this is first. The second one, a non-branded term, actually has less of a volume. Less people are searching for advertisement than HubSpot. So you've really made it at that point. It has a similar cost per click, $5.47, but we see a much, much lower cost percentage is coming from this. Why? That has to do with the volume, it has to do with the cost per click, etc. There's a lot of competition, there's way more results for advertisement. As we start going lower down the list, we start getting some really good ideas for how we might want to position ourselves as a HubSpot competitor. CRM. Great term, obviously, if you have a CRM. Looking at the keyword difficulty, though, we see that's an 89. So there's only 100 spots. That is pretty high up there. That is pretty difficult. If we start going down, we see, okay, follow-up email. That's only about a 60. That is much easier to rank for. We see the CPC is actually higher. People want to buy advertising related to this follow-up email stuff. People are selling tools, services, etc. that help integrate with your follow-up email workflow. If you keep scrolling, you'll see a whole bunch of these great terms that you can start integrating into your content calendar if you want to compete with HubSpot for these terms. Scroll down more, and you see we're only on page 1 out of over 8,000. So you have a ton of stuff to work with. Let's go back and see the same type of data for their paid search campaigns. Okay, we're going to click the 7.9 thousand. That refers to the volume of traffic that they're getting. And what this is going to let us do, it's actually really cool. We're going to see exactly what they're putting on particular ads for particular keywords. All right, the first is HubSpot. They don't want their competitors being the only people to put ads on HubSpot. They want to get in on that action too. If you go where it says ad, if you hover over this, you can actually see the exact ad they use for this precise keyword. We see the title, we see the URL, and we see the ad copy. There is a ton of what's called split testing done to perfect these ads. Changing one word, changing punctuation. All these things are done dozens of times, sometimes hundreds or more times, to get the highest converting ad copy and the highest converting keywords. But you're going to cut straight to the end of the line. You're not going to be trying what they tried to do 2 years ago and failed at. You're going to see their best stuff, their latest, most cutting edge stuff right here, right with the help of Semrush, so that you can get, hopefully, the fruits of their labor. After trying all those different dozens of variations, you're going to see what works best for them, because if you do a similar thing, if you're offering a similar product, this will hopefully work best for you too. You can go, you can see all this stuff, free CRM, etc. I think this is a really great way to save money on marketing agencies by cutting out all of that early work, cutting straight to the end of the line, and getting the best stuff. Obviously, you'll want to change the copy a little bit to reflect your brand and what you're selling. If we go back again, we can see there's a different category for display advertising. So if we click on that, we can see some of their banner ads that they're posting across the web. So if we scroll, we see the publishers that they're working with. So blackberryseeker.com, they've got 2 ads over there. Great. Let's click on that. These are the type of ads that you see on this blackberryseeker.com. We have the time seen, so are they coming back for more? Did they like their campaign and did they want to do it again? We see the advertiser, we see the days seen. This is going to give you a good insight as to whether or not this is the type of neighborhood you want to join. Is it more than HubSpot? Is it other people in your niche, etc.? So if we go back, we're going back to, of course, the HubSpot section of this display advertising. We'll see a breakdown by country, only 52% in the US. A lot of times other countries are cheaper in terms of how much it costs, although that's certainly not always the case. And you just might, in general, want to target local services elsewhere. You can see a breakdown of display ads by device. Only 20% saw these ads on the desktop. More even on Apple tablets than all the different desktop types. We see the publisher, and here, sample media ads. This is really cool. They spent a ton of time and a ton of work coming up with really cool banner ads, and you're going to see all of what they're doing that Semrush detected so that you can make similar stuff for your similar service. Want free marketing advice? It's in orange. I'm sure they've done a ton of testing to show that orange converts better than red, for example. Book a free assessment in a different color. It looks like a button. If you click on it, it expands it. It's saying when this was first seen, when this was last seen, how many days it was on there, the target URL, which you can of course go to and see their landing page. We're seeing the different domains that they published this ad on. This is a ton of great information. They are spending a ton of money to get this ad perfected, and you're cutting right to the end of the line to see what has been working best for them. There's also a backlink finder, so let's go back and check that out. A ton of backlinks, over 18 million. If you click on that, what we're going to get is a list of all the different websites that are linking out to HubSpot.com. We see there's over 75,000 referring domains, over 66,000 referring IPs. These help you to determine whether or not this is a whole bunch of links from a few people or the opposite, or somewhere in between. 97% of the links are followed links. That refers to whether or not these links carry authority or an endorsement as far as the Google algorithm is concerned. If you scroll down, you can see the anchor text of the link. You can see a whole bunch of good data. The first time the link was seen, the last time it was seen. If you're trying to do what's called a disavow file, which is when you tell Google, hey, we don't want this person's link to matter in terms of your assessment of our site. This is the case if you're getting a bunch of really spammy links from, say, gambling or prescription drugs, etc. You can easily add links that you don't want to a disavow log for easy submission to Google. If you scroll down more, you see a ton of links, a ton of good data about these links. You see when a link was lost. If someone formerly linked to you and just removed that link, hey, that might be a good time to reach out and say, why not link to us again? If you see a link was lost recently, you can investigate that. Why did you lose the link? Did the person delete that whole page? Did they just remove you? If it's a competitor, you can explore how you can get your link hopefully to replace the lost link of a competitor, etc. Semrush can do a whole lot more than just drill down on a single competitor. They have a fantastic selection of data that pertain to keywords as a whole. So let's go on over to this top section, put in a keyword that we think is valuable. Let's just use cloud storage. Because you're not entering a URL, Semrush automatically detects that this is a keyword request. If you scroll down, you're going to see a whole bunch of great stuff. You're going to see other suggested keywords that include the keyword that you used. So first is obviously cloud storage, and it has the volume and the cost per click for that. But then we see, for example, Google Cloud Storage. That is a lot cheaper. If you want to buy an ad, you might very well consider, if you're already going to buy an ad on the term cloud storage, also buying an ad on Google Cloud Storage. You're probably going to get a very similar audience, and yet the term is going to be drastically cheaper to bid on. You can view a full report and get a whole bunch of other ideas. Related keywords is a similar section. It does not require that your phrase is actually in the suggested keywords, so you won't just be limiting yourself to those keywords that somewhere include cloud storage. You see here online storage is suggested, etc. If you scroll down, you're going to see what it looks like in the organic search results, which is what you see when you just Google the term. You're also going to see some great ad copy. So Dropbox, they're a cloud storage provider. They're bidding. No big surprise, but you can see exactly how they're trying to make their pitch with this ad copy. If you scroll down, you can see ad history, etc. But let's go back up because we're going to want to drill down on some of this. Let's do related keywords. That's going to include stuff that does match the phrase, but it won't have to. Here this is sorted by the related percentage. So online storage is very similar to cloud storage, and that's why this is listed first. If you click on one of these keywords, let's just do online storage, you can see all of the great different people that are pitching their offerings. we have Carbonite, Dropbox, SugarSync, Microsoft Azure, etc. You can get a great window into how all of these people are competing. Let's go ahead and view a full report of all related keywords. This is going to give you so many keyword opportunities, you're going to have work to do for months. If you want to try to target content to these particular keywords, you're going to have a ton of ideas here. If we scroll down, we can sort by related percentage, but that's going to get us some not that great keywords. We see here which online storage only has a volume of 10 and a very high keyword difficulty, so it's not that great. Experiment with this with your niche. Some of the sorting options will be better for one niche versus another. Let's sort by volume. This is going to get us the highest volume, the most search terms that are within this list of related keywords. Okay, Drive, Cloud, Cloud Storage, even Dropbox Free. These are all potentially very interesting targets. We also want to make good note of the keyword difficulty, which is how difficult it would be for us to compete over that, as well as the cost per click. If you just eyeball this, you'll see a ton of these very high volume terms are very difficult. But you can see some big discrepancies. Drive has a keyword difficulty of 85, but just a few spots down, Google Cloud Storage has a difficulty of 73. So right away you're seeing that that's a lot easier to rank for, although still difficult. Scrolling some more, you see Box Store at 63. This gives you a great sense, depending on how authoritative your website is, over the best, highest search for, most expensive if you were to buy ads on them, keywords to try to target. Once you've looked at a ton of related possible keywords, scroll up and let's click on Ads History. This gives you a ton of really valuable insights into the paid advertising that the competitors in this niche are running. It also sorts it by date. So let's go straight to the end and let's see what this recent 2018 ad from Microsoft is in this online storage keyword. Let's click the ad. Right away, we see exactly what they're doing here. We see the copy, we see the link, everything. If you go back, you see, okay, they iterated. In January 2018, they had a slightly different ad. For example, here in the January 2018 ad, they tried get a $200 free credit. Later, they say create your free account today. So they're experimenting. First they thought, or at least earlier they thought, that the $200 specificity would drive customers. Then they thought, let's be a little more ambiguous. Maybe that particular deal ended, but let's just say a free account today. By looking at the progress of their experimentation, you can find out what will likely work the best for you. If Microsoft or whoever else decided to run with an ad for months and months and months after a lot of experimentation, that is the green light for you to hopefully do the same. We can look at the same data for other competitors. Here's Dropbox. They've iterated a ton, etc., etc. A whole bunch of competitor data we can look at. We also see the traffic, the price, and the keywords. There is a ton of great people working on fantastic copy, fantastic keywords, and getting a ton of money. This lets you see exactly what they're being paid to do, all with Semrush. For more keyword insights, we can explore their new Keyword Magic tool. There's a little how it works section, but we can just use our online storage. I think the plus is fine. I'm just going to take that out. Do search. We're doing US only. And here we have a really nicely organized list of keywords, sections. So for example, we only want to see the stuff that includes free. So variations of free cloud storage, we can click that. Free online storage, free online photo storage, etc. We can see only the stuff with photos or auction or pay or India. This helps us narrow down common categories of keywords within our keyword. Scroll down, you see a ton of data. You can sort this. You can say, of the things that are free, let's sort by keyword difficulty. Let's do that. The first result, obviously, is a very difficult keyword to rank for free, but as we go down the list, we see not everything is so difficult. Okay, free online storage shed plans. I don't know exactly what the shed refers to, and not that many people search for it, only 20. But if that means something to you and to your audience, that's a lot easier to rank for than the top one. There's also a rank tracker. So if you want to monitor how well your website is doing in the search results for particular terms, let's say you made a piece of content covering free cloud storage, and you want to see, well, where does Google think that this should be in the results? Day to day, month to month, etc. You can enter your domain right here and get a play-by-play of the progress that you're making in these search results. All in all, Semrush is a fantastic tool. It's going to hopefully save you a ton of time, a ton of money, a ton of heartache trying different ad copy that didn't work for your competitors, so probably wouldn't work for you, etc. I think it's great, and I hope you enjoy integrating it into your own workflow.